Hey guys, the Race Survival Series week number 4 continues. Right now, it's completely all tied up. Barracks, Mighty, and Yabsab from Terran, Protoss, and Zerg respectively have all been eliminated. And right now, the current king of this hill is MisO. Generally thought of as an aggressive Zerg, but showing in that last game against Mighty that you can play a Mighty macro game. No doubt. Now, he is going up against my favorite, your favorite. It is Scan. Scan having an absolutely phenomenal week number... So week 1? Week 3? No, it was week 1, I believe. But yeah, doing fantastically in the Race Survival Series so far. And we'll see how he fares. I think his Terran vs. Zerg is very, very strong. MisO has some tricks up his sleeve, though. Right? Like, MisO has some very strong, like, Guardian Rush builds. I don't know if he'll end up using one of those here. I think that gets a little bit harder at super top level. But let's see. Now, a 9 pool to open. Okay. Not entirely sure what the plan is. Maybe keep some pressure on. Mix it up a little bit. You never know. If your opponent, like Scan does, occasionally mix in things like Command Center first. So he's going to go ahead and make his barracks. One thing to mention, right, this is Neo Sylphid, which is honestly one of the best maps ever made. I think it might be the best 3-player map that we've ever had. I think most people would agree with that. It's just a really fun map. It's very dynamic. The layout of the bases is really, really awesome. And it promotes, like, there's a lot of engagements that happen on this map. A lot of scuffling in different locations as well. So, definitely a very fun and cool map. One thing, though, that I did want to mention is that Scan is at 12 o'clock. And 12 o'clock is notoriously difficult to deal with Mutalisks. If you look at the layout of the base, the backside, look at where this gas is. This area is very hard to hold on to with turrets, right? So there's this area that Mutas can harass. There's this area. There's this area. And then, of course, the natural. The natural actually gets harassed the least at 12 o'clock because the main base is a little bit harder to do anything with. So we'll see if that comes into play. It won't necessarily, like, just because that's something that's strong in the position. Like, I personally expect to see that as long as MisO opens up with mutas. But obviously, you know, Scan is aware of that. May end up making more turrets and things like that. Now, all this being said, don't forget we did open with the 9 pool, right? So Scan brings 5 SCVs up. That's really serious. On a ramp, you do 4. Here, Scan has decided to do 5. He already has 2 Marines out, so this isn't going to do anything. You'll see him start sending SCVs back as more Marines pop out. Like, he'll send at least 1 back as this Marine pops out, and so on and so forth. Does start the 3rd depot because he needs to produce nonstop. Yeah, with 3 out now, he's thinking, okay, I can hold 2, no problem. Still has his scouting SCV alive, which is very, very important. Gets that layer timing, which is very nice. And, of course, knows about the hatchery and all that. So now he can kind of adjust his build order to make sure that it's ready for everything still. Because you never know exactly what time they'll make everything when they go for an early pull. Just a little bit of scuffling going on here. He's trying to push those Zerglings out. He had just enough to kill all these. So, yeah. MisO is going to back up for now. And he's still, yeah, you can see, just kind of trying to see, like, can he pick off even a Zergling here? It's very useful. So he's produced so many Marines, decides to just go ahead and throw down another depot here as well. And this is just to kind of choke this up so that it's not as easy to get surrounds with Zerglings or anything like that. MisO is going for speed. It's over halfway done. Gas on the way. You should see Academy next. There it is. And certainly we'll see Scan get into a 2nd barracks and an engineering bay pretty quickly here. I wouldn't be surprised if he throws a bunker down as well. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense, right? This is still kind of wide open. MisO is still known for being aggressive. And just because his 9 pool didn't work, he didn't throw away any lings. So he can still just make more lings, especially since the SCV died, and still do an attack. You can see how careful Scan is being. Sets an SCV in front, which will screw up any attacking AI. Loads up a bunker. And now at this point, you'd need about 1 million lings to break him. You'd have to be completely all in, and he'd have to be slow. So, yeah, I think he's completely safe. 2nd barracks on the way. Looking over at MisO's base, his spire, a little bit over halfway done here as well. starts his third base location. Now, this is interesting because there's a lot of places he can take it. This is a possibility. Maybe the least likely of the likely spots. This is slightly more likely to take the main base because then you get this tiny choke you can put lurkers in. Plus, it's a farther walk for Terran. This one can be likely if you're planning on going for heavy Mutalisks or Guardian Rushes. And then this one is honestly probably the most likely because it's just very far from Terran. You have the little ramp. So it's very hard to attack it once you get lurkers. But yeah, he takes this one. And what this does for you is it allows you a very quick and easy fourth. The third itself, this is the hardest one to hold out of all the likely bases. But once you hold it, it pays you great dividends getting this base. Obviously, there's ways that Terran can combat that by drops and whatnot, but yeah, just something to mention. Okay, so turrets are starting. He's got his third barracks on the way. Ling's trying to run in. Yeah, the bunker going to hold them off easily. Mutas flying out. Not sure what that was all about, but okay. He does have the +1 attack on the way, so it seems like he's going to be pretty focused on mutas. I mean, +1 attack only costs as much as a Mutalisk anyway, so it's not the biggest of deals to get it. It looks like he told a turret to build here, and it did not. Or was that for a depot? Oh, okay. I guess it's for a depot. Okay, and there's the turret. I was going to say, because these two turrets are not enough. He needs a little bit more than that. This turret is basically too far from this one, so this one won't shoot at mutas that are killing this turret. So you need a bridging turret, right? To kind of connect those together. So you see he's put a decent amount over here, a couple around this area that I was talking about, and then of course you do have to have some at the natural. And this is one of those split naturals as well, so you can attack just one side of the minerals. That's the two on top, so less likely to attack there, but losing some mining time, losing some SCVs, only up 4 workers despite the 9 pool opening. So MisO already looking all right. It seems like even though the 9 pool didn't work for him, it didn't do any damage. He's actually gaining an advantage right now with those mutas. All right, the bio starts to push out. Factory is well on the way. We hear a lot of scans going down. So you see he scanned here, here. Kind of missed that one a little bit, but good enough to see if there's creep, and then the natural. So scan trying to figure out where that third base location is. He may be thinking it's here, but even if he thinks it's here, like, he'll pass through this base. Hydralis Den and Queen's Nest. So probably a Defiler Rush from here. The Muta's doing a pretty good job at reducing this bio count. Just heard another scan. Yeah, see? I told you. Okay, so where he scanned here, I actually saw the edge of the creep, which may not have even been on purpose, but actually, if it wasn't, it should have been. Because that was actually a good enough scan that that gives him a bunch of intel. So now he knows at least. And like I mentioned, he checked all the other locations first. So it's the least expected, but it can still be very strong. Now, the mutas come in to actually kill off this forward group, and MisO will kill it without losing too much. This was a good moment for MisO. I got to tell you, MisO's playing a very solid game right now. Now, there's an armory on the way, so we're going to see a Valkyrie coming out. More turrets are coming up because he lost that forward group. As soon as you lose that, you got to build a lot more turrets because you know those mutas are coming for you. So going after these turrets on the edge, a little bit sloppy, not the greatest micro. This is over a group of mutas, so that's why you see it's like not the greatest micro. He's just trying to take the huge amount he has and apply damage with it. But yeah, that a little bit sloppy right there. We'll definitely say. The lurker upgrade is coming. Hive is about halfway done, so definitely MisO going to be getting up into those defilers very, very quickly. As soon as that's done, no doubt. Oh, nice pickoffs right there. Great targeting. The Academy was lost, and that's very annoying. You got to rebuild that. A couple depots being made at the moment. Yeah, you got to be able to make more medics, no doubt. 4 barracks still producing. Sometimes when you lose the Academy, you actually don't realize it. And you just, like, macro as normal, and then you realize you have no medics. Hope that doesn't happen to Scan. All right, the Valkyrie is coming, but it's not going to be in time to break anything. Because, look, he's already got the lurker upgrade finishing just now. Well, maybe it will be. Hold on. If he goes directly to the south, I wonder if he can break it. Like, there's only one. If he had 3 lurkers morphing, 0% chance, but just one? Some percent chance. Yeah, 2 more start, but, like, he might be able to get there just before. Now, with the Valkyrie, he can really go now. Maybe spending a little bit too much time fighting with those mutas. All right, gonna go ahead and burrow. You see Scan trying to pull the trigger right now, and you can't blame him. This is an opportunity. Gets in there, picks off that first lurker, and it looks like it's just barely going to be a hold. Scan unable to break through, so loses a fair amount of bio. Puts some damage on the mutas, kills the lurker. But at the end of the day, looking at these positions, I do like MisO's quite a bit more right now. Now, Scan still has chances for sure. But MisO, like, look at this. Just killing off that central bio group once again. So that's twice now that he's cleared the army in the center of the map. Tries to come down to save his medics with the stimmed bio forward and the Valkyrie, but unable to do so either. We have Consume coming up. Vessels have been started here for Scan. But only 1 starport, which that can be very normal in a game like this, where instead of going into 2 starport science vessel, if your economy is a little bit off and they're very aggressive with mutas, sometimes you go Valkyrie into vessel, and then you just add the second starport a bit later. Ultralis Cavern, second evolution chamber. More macro hatches coming up. Lots of lurkers out there. No way to really break lurkers at the moment. Looks like MisO getting ready to take that 4th base I was talking about as well. And the Scan goes down, and he sees the timing of taking that. The windows for Scan are closed up a little bit. He doesn't have much opportunity for damage right now. And also, based on the fact that he was late on the second starport, sometimes what you do is you just grab a couple dropships and kill this base because it's going to be the hardest to defend for Zerg. They only defend it really from the front. From the side, it's a lot harder. But he's only got that 1 starport. So, and I mean, he just made the second one. But he needs to get that vessel count up. I think the vessels are probably a little bit more important than popping out dropships right now, but we'll see. All right, Scan continuing to macro. Sends this factory down. Chitinous plating is on the way, as well as Plague. As the night is up to connect the bases. Look at the amount of Scourge. Holy crap. Well, this is how you can tell that I wasn't BSing that it's common to try to kill a base like this when they expand to a 3rd like this with dropships. Because this is like such a serious amount of Scourge. He's just saying, no, I am absolutely not losing to dropships. And he's right. Like, with this many Scourge, you don't really have any opportunity to drop into there. Now, Scan is taking a 3rd base at this mineral. That's kind of the furthest way, the easiest to defend right now. Scans in, sees the lurker count. It's pretty darn high. Irradiates a couple of them, but you can't break that. Defiler with full energy comes out. Oh, Plague is ready too. Yeah, I mean, he plagues 3 Marines. That was a good split off from Scan. You don't mind having three of them plagued. All right, lots of vessels being produced. Love the spores coming down as well. The spores just kind of make it so the vessels don't have free reign. And also, you're going to be throwing down plagues for the rest of the game. So anytime you plague a vessel and there's a spore nearby, you can't even use it. All right, more macro hatches. Scan still patrolling the center. Yeah, this is a really tough position for Scan. I feel like MisO has just kind of outplayed him this game. Like, all the different moves in the center. The 2 army kills in the center, really, really big. The expansion was a little bit tricky. And, yeah, stuff like that's really important to take into consideration, right? Like, that base, you have to play a little bit different when someone takes that as the 3rd base. And then Scan found it kind of late, and it's like, oh, can we bust it? He tried for the bust, just couldn't quite get there in time. And now MisO's just getting everything in the whole world, right? We have Adrenal. We have Ultra Speed. We have even the, I don't even know what this is called. It's the Defiler energy upgrade. Metasynaptic node. Okay, let me try to remember that after 23 years of this game. Metasynaptic node. Scan still, I mean, he's still patrolling around. He's looking for damage where he can get it. This is just a spore pickoff, I think. You can't attack into the actual location. But he gets the spore, and that allows his vessels to come in and do a little bit more. So he irradiates the lurkers. He's getting some, or trying to get the defilers. Gets an overlord there accidentally. So a good set of irradiates, a nice pickoff on the spore. You notice he's remaking it immediately. The spore definitely worth remaking. Did get a plague on a couple of those vessels, so those may fall more easily in the future. But yeah, sitting here with the 4 gas, this means that when you get up to 4 gas, especially this early into the game, you can go Ultra Defiler and start coming out on the map, and that is very tough to play against. Here we go. He can hit Plague and Darkstorm with the amount of energy he has with Metastematic Node up. I can't even say it. All right, look at that. Darkstorm goes down. Plague as well. The army has to run back for Scan. Irradiates being thrown down on what he can get. Good moves, though, from MisO. Looks like he's going to send a couple ultras towards that top right, but a couple bunkers here. So they're not going to be able to do too much damage, I think. Little group of Marines literally to catch exactly what you see here. These little Ling counters that come out. That'll buy him some time. It looks like there were enough Lings this time that it will clear that, but at least he knows now that there are units coming up through that area. Battle cruisers are going to be operational here. Oh, fantastic. There's actually a second armory on the way as well. He might end up going into mass battlecruiser here. That's kind of what it looks like. Oh, that's exciting. Okay, well, we'll see about that. Now, he does have this 4th base up that does have a gas. This is much lower mineral patches and everything, so not as important and kind of easy to attack. A little bit unfortunate. You would like to keep this up. Yeah, I think he has enough units to hold it for now. So, good quality hold here from Scan. Got to keep those 4 bases. BC's starting to pop out. We do have a 3rd starport coming up as well. A lot of Lings and Ultras being produced. Oh, God. Oh, he picks off the Defiler before spells are cast. Lucky there. You start plaguing this giant army, that's going to be very painful. But look, oh my God, there's no lurkers here anymore. So he pushes forward, and a Darkstorm does get up, so he can't bust. But this is a great way to sometimes win in these positions that start to get a little bit hard, where it feels like Zerg is invincible everywhere. When they start attacking everywhere, suddenly areas open up where it's like, oh, there's not as much defense here. And if there wasn't a Defiler there right then, he could have actually busted in and gotten a good amount of damage before things came through the Nidus or hatched or whatever. So good try there from Scan. Still patrolling that map. Some Darkstorm snuck into this mineral base. Luckily for him, he does have a fire bat in that bunker. A little bit annoying to deal with, but the Defiler going to be fine. Little group of bio going after this hatchery. Oh, but MisO trying to save it, and it looks like he should be able to, as an Ultra's going to come up here. More plagues have been cast. Every vessel being plagued at this point. Battlecruisers doing their best on the defense. Tell you, an admirable job from both players. Look at the supply rise on both sides. 172 to 159 supply. Generally, that does mean that it's a bit Zerg favored. The Mutas want to snipe these vessels. See, he's going to start irradiating them. Nice split off. All right, 1 vessel falls. Bioforce getting smaller and smaller at this point. And the Mutas are coming hunting. Seeing if they can kill off thousands of gas of vessels. A few of them have fallen already. Another command center has been flowed down. I think Scan's thinking about taking this location. MisO, though, on a 5th base now. He saved that one. Kind of a big deal. I kind of like the burrow being upgraded, too. He's just, like, taxing everything Scan is doing at this point. Ooh, and then the Scourge coming up with the Mutas. A great way to remove BCs. The BCs actually target Mutas first. They have a higher priority than Scourge. So that's always a scary thing if you see a bunch of Mutas coming with the Scourge. Normally, by this point in the game, all the Mutas have died. Except they might remake like 1 or 2 to try to deal with vessels that were plagued. But yeah, that's very, very nice usage of those Mutas at this point. All right, so the BC's kind of zoning everything back a little bit, staying out front. More BCs are still being made. Let's take a look. Yeah, a bunch of Lings here, so that's very annoying. Even some burrowed, so he's going to have to scan or bring vessels. Some Irradiate's going to be coming down. These are so low on health. Any Muta that finds these, they are just going to pop. The Muta's coming over, looking for those kills. A lot of Ultra Ling. You have to have a big Bioforce to be able to deal with this. You see that supply going a lot lower. Oh, the vessel's getting absolutely slaughtered. Just one remains. These Bioforce is getting smaller and smaller, unfortunately. Dark Swarm going up at this 4th base as well. A Plague onto the BCs. The Muta's coming over to fight along with the Scourge. Picks one of them off for now. A lot of SCVs dying at this base as well. I think we're just about the end here for Scan. It seems like MisO has done it. Scan still has good production and everything, but his money is going to start running dry as he has very few SCVs. And MisO really taking full control of this map. Look, not even mining at this point. Out. So it's like the mineral base is the only thing mining minerals for him now. Whereas MisO still on 5 base. Well, kinda. And that's going to be it. MisO wins his 2nd in a row.